8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up? Happy Wednesday. Good afternoon. Welcome back to this episode of Lunchtime Quickie with Miriah. I'm your host, Miriah Lee. I don't even have my comments pulled up so I can see y'all. JDLR, what's up? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well today. Bryant, hope you're well. Tell Tony hi. Hope the kids are doing great. Tanya, good afternoon, sis. Hope you're great. The 49ers, in true 49er fashion, gave us something to talk about today. So we'll get into that. Well, I have to remember I don't have a co-host, so we, as in me and y'all. What's up, Bebop-a-roni? But before I get into that, I want to start off by wishing my mom a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. Thank you for everything. You're the best, obviously. I wouldn't be doing anything without you making me. So I appreciate you for that. But yeah, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. And we will see you on Friday. Let's see. Bebop. Ty, what's good, Ty? Happy B-Day, Mom. Appreciate it. They're saying thanks, Mom. Thanks for making me. She's not a Lee anymore. She's an ex-Lee. She's a Owen now. She used to be a Lee though, so it's okay. Thank you, everybody. All right, so let's get into some Trey Lance news that's out there today. Ian Rappaport reporting. Let me pull up the exact thing so I don't like to be misquoting people. When I woke up this morning, I look at Twitter to see what's going on, and I see all the 49ers fans in a space talking about Trey Lance getting traded or something, and I'm like, what is going on here? So I got kind of scared because I was thinking, oh shit, did Trey Lance get traded while I was sleeping? That wouldn't be very nice. So yeah, the tweet said from Ian Rappaport, sources, the 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick quarterback Trey Lance. The conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making them, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. And then a little bit later, he comes out, with a little video talking pretty much about, the exact same thing he says there. He says that over in the video, he said over the last few days, and he says few weeks, the 49ers have received several calls from, numerous teams asking about Trey Lance. So my first thought when I heard that, when I listened to, the video, is who wants this info out there, right? Like we know that the 49ers don't leak things unless they want it to be leaked, right? So who benefits from this info being out there? Did Trey Lance's agent put that out there that teams are calling to ask about Trey Lance? Did one of the teams put it out there that they called to ask about Trey Lance? Or did the 49ers call up the NFL network guy, whatever, Ian Rappaport, and tell him, hey, teams are calling about Trey Lance. But make sure you put in there, we are taking the calls. We're not making the calls. Because why else would he close the tweet with that? Like, that was just unnecessary info that didn't need to be there. And then he ends with Brock Purdy, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. So when it comes to trading Trey Lance, my stance, obviously we know, I'm a Trey Lance fan. However, I'm a 49ers fan. So at the end of the day, I want whoever is going to take us to win the next Super Bowl, right? So if Trey Lance gets traded, hopefully they trade him to a team where he can grow and be great. But where I'm at with it, it's like, okay, so if we trade Trey Lance, say during the draft or prior to week 1 sometime, whether that's in training camp, yada, yada. So he's not there for week 1. And we either roll with Sam Darnold to be the week 1 starter, and they draft, a rookie or an undrafted rookie or whatever to back up Sam Darnold till Purdy's ready, if Purdy isn't ready by week 1. Or we know that they'd be, well, I won't say that they would be rushing Purdy back, but maybe Purdy would be coming back before he should be back if they're going to have him starting week 1. That just seems like way too quick for that injury. And let's say he does come back and his arm strength isn't there, or, he say, for whatever happens, say there's a setback or he gets injured, something happens with the arm or, whatever, to where he's not then available. And it's like, okay, well, then you're stuck with Sam Darnold and nobody, right? Because Sam Darnold is backing up Purdy. And now we're on our third quarterback again. We're having to search for the third backup, which is going to probably be a rookie, right? And it's like, you did all this while trading away Trey Lance. It's like, why would you trade away Trey Lance before you even know if Purdy's going to be ready? How Sam Darnold's going to do with the playbook? How Sam Darnold's, like, all we ever hear about is that this playbook's so hard for quarterbacks to pick up on. Like, it was years of Jimmy Garoppolo trying to get this playbook. And yet they're going to expect that Sam Darnold's just going to walk in and his ghosts are going to go away. He's not going to see him anymore. He's going to have the playbook down and he's going to be ready to roll week 1. The other teams couldn't make it work with him, but he's going to be ready to go week 1. With this team that we've been hearing that Trey Lance can't start, that Trey Lance isn't good here because this team's ready to win now, but you're going to risk the season, like, on all this things being perfect, right? Like Brock Purdy being back, Sam Darnold having everything ready to go. That just, I don't know. That seems like a lot has to fall into place for the trade to be able to trade Trey Lance and it to make sense prior to week 1. Plus the 11 whatever $1 million cap hit that you're going to take as well. So I don't know. It's crazy. What's up? Let me see who's here. What's up, TL? Good to see you. Mike Ing. What's up, buddy? What's going on? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Wolf One Speed. What's up? Well, like 2 weeks ago was when, if this is what you're talking about, I don't know, but it seems like that same time, frame. That's when John Lynch and Kyle came out and said that's when they had spoken. So I don't know. And this is why I had asked, like, who's putting that info out there, to Ian Rappaport to report, because, and me and TL have talked about this. And after those interviews, it's like those national media guys came out with videos saying about Sam Darnold being the week 1 starter, right? And it's like they acted like they didn't even mention Trey Lance's name. And then a couple days ago, one of the I forget that guy's name that does the film reviews or shit, but he puts the video out a couple days ago on Twitter saying that he could see Sam Darnold being the week 1 starter. And now you have this dropping today from the national media guys saying that the 49ers have been taking calls. So I don't know. It's just something's just not smelling right around here. Like, it's like somebody's putting out that info to them for them to then put out the info to say, oh, I think Sam Darnold's going to be the week 1 starter and not even mention Trey Lance's name. Like, somebody's putting that in their ears, right? Like, that's now like 3-4 different people that have came out with that, like, and big name people. It's not like just these little made up freaking places, like these are national named media people that are coming out with this. It's like, so you have all those dropping, like one here, and then a couple days later, another one, and then a couple days later, another one, a couple days later, another one, just as recent as like 2 or 3 days ago. And now you have this coming out today. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know how they could just already have that much, faith. And you couldn't let Trey Lance play and start because it's a win now team, but you can let Sam Darnold play and start, even though it's a win now team. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just crazy. Let me see who else is up in here. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, they just recycle the same shit, but for them to actually be coming out with videos saying that the 49ers have been taking calls now. And at first he says they've taken several calls in the last few days. And then he goes, few days or a few weeks. So did he misspeak or did he just, try to cover up what he originally said? Who knows? You think? You never know. And then it's like that too. It's like we spent 3 first-round picks on Trey Lance. Okay, you realize, okay, you fucked up. He's not the guy. You found your guy in Purdy. Okay, cool. You're going to trade Trey Lance. What are you going to trade him for? A bag of chips? Like, you guys don't want him, and you're the team that spent all these picks on him. You're the team that supposedly fell in love with him and invested in him, and we're going to turn your franchise over to him just last year. And now you want to throw him out, but yet another team's supposed to give up what? For a guy that hasn't played in all these years, that the team that drafted him just stuck him on the bench, like, I don't know. It's like you spent 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick on him, and you might be lucky to get a third-round pick in a trade for him. So we're just, and that's when it comes back to, like, we make fun of the Rams for saying F them picks, for trading away all these picks for players and stuff. Well, I mean, yet we're not talking about the fact that the 49ers just wasted 3 first-round picks for nothing, for somebody that we're just going to throw away. And definitely not for 3 first-round picks. We're definitely not getting that in a trade. So no matter what, we're taking a loss. What's up, 187? Ryan, good to see you. What's he say? I spoke with Jason Hurley from 49erscap.com, and he said trading Trey wouldn't leave us with enough to sign the rookies and extend Bosa. That means we would have to restructure someone just to trade. That's what I'm saying. It's like 11 point something cap hit to trade him if you trade him before June 1st, which obviously the draft and whatever is way before that. Speaking of the draft, TL and I, for our show tomorrow, we are doing a mock draft. Well, we'll do our regular show and then we'll close it out with the mock draft. So that'll be our second and our last mock draft before the draft next week. All right, let me get back through these comments and then we'll switch on to something else. I want to talk a little bit about Draymond Green. Let's see. Ryan saying, hit that like because some of y'all are slacking. All right, let me make sure. Shot J, what's up? Good to see you. Melissa, what's up, Melissa? Happy Wednesday, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I mock your mock. All right. I agree, Ty. None of this makes sense. It's it's frustrating. Like, I just want to know who our quarterback is, have a healthy quarterback, like, can we just have a normal team going into training camp and it's preseason and okay, this is our QB1, our team's working out together. And remember last year, Trey Lance was working with Brandon Ayuk prior to, the start of the season. And it's like from the looks of it, from all the videos I've seen, Trey Lance is just out working with whoever. Like, I don't see him working with any of the 49ers guys. So I don't know. It's frustrating. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Draymond Green. Obviously, news came out last night. He's suspended for 1 game for the stomp on Sabonis, the flopper. Here are my thoughts. I don't think it's right, obviously, for somebody to stomp on somebody. Let's just make that clear. I'm not saying what Draymond Green did was right by any means. I will say that Sabonis went into that play by pulling Klay Thompson for no fucking reason, almost making him fall. And then he himself flops down onto the ground and then wraps up Draymond's leg. All for what did that whole event? What was that all for? Like, that event then caused Draymond to, we know how he reacts to situations, which of course I'm not saying is right, but we know how he reacts to situations. And then that Draymond is Draymond and reacts, and that happens. Like, this guy flopped the entire game. Like, I hate watching basketball like that. Like, sometimes I get pissed at the Warriors because we don't get any foul calls usually. Like, but they're not out there flopping all over the court. Like, I can't stand that shit. Like, there's other players from other teams that I watch, and it's like, I can't even watch them because it's like, I feel like I'm watching a soccer game. Like, and I love soccer. I played soccer growing up, but it's like, I can't even watch soccer anymore because it's like half of it's acting. And it's like, that's what basketball has turned into. Like, they're out there who can flop around the best, who can get the dramatic freaking, to get the penalties and to get the refs to freaking call. And it's just like, I don't know. I can't stand that shit. So, I think it's kind of crazy that we know how the Warriors season started. Well, prior to the season even started, with Draymond's antics, right? With him slapping Jordan Poole And obviously, we're never going to know for sure if that had an effect on the team or what. But from the looks from an outsider, it did. And you can be a homer and all you want and say, oh, it's in it, it's in it. No, it's in it. But that team, clearly, their chemistry was screwed up for a long time to start the season, at the beginning of the season, halfway through the season, probably still now. Who knows? Something's up with them. And you know why I'm going to say something's up with them? Because this team, I watched them like in amazement before about the way that even like Steph could just pass the ball to a spot and he would know Draymond's going to be there without even Draymond's not even there yet, right? Like it was just so effortlessly done. Like they're passing, like they already knew where the other person was going to be, what was happening before, because they already had this chemistry down. And we're seeing like this team the turnovers are crazy. Like they're not going to win it, not one single game, unless they get those turnovers under fucking control. And why? It's because they're passing the ball, they're throwing the ball, their team, they're not on the same freaking page. Like you can clearly see that even Steph and Draymond are not on the same page half of the freaking game. So something's up. That just doesn't happen to a championship team, a team that's been together all these years. Their core people, their core guys have been together so many years where they, like you could say like, oh, me and my wife, we complete each other's sentences, right? That's them, but in basketball, right? Like they could complete each other's plays, like almost, right? They knew where the other guy was going to be. They were just so in sync. That's all. That's not them this season at all. Like something has been off the entire season. Poole has played like shit. So whether Draymond slapped the freaking talent out of him when he smacked him, I don't know. Whether him getting paid, the money has weighed down his short pockets and he can't play when he's out there, I don't know. But whatever it is, he's played like shit this season. I don't know how I would go out there and play knowing that one of the captains, one of the vets on this team that's been here for all these years, right? One of the key guys of this team slapped me and the whole world saw it. And then I'm supposed to go out there and play with this guy like nothing happened. I don't know. So this team has just seemed off to me from the jump. And so back to what I was saying, it's like the season starts with Draymond in Draymond fashion and could possibly end in Draymond fashion. All while Draymond's in a contract season. So that's the interesting part of it. If the Warriors go on to lose one of these next two games at home, they're down 0-2 right now. They're coming home from the next two. If they don't win these, obviously it's not must win right now, this next game. They could still, win it out. But in my eyes, it's must win. If you don't win these next two games, then kiss it goodbye. And now you're playing this next game without Draymond, which means Looney, I don't know. I mean, the defense on this team has been like non-existent for most of the season. And now we're losing Draymond Green. So, I mean, they're having guys drop 38 points with Draymond Green on the court. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like with Draymond off the court. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But like I said, they're just not looking great to me overall. The Kings, shout out to them because they've came ready to play. Of course, they haven't played perfect by any means either. But they've done enough to win. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Their fans have, man, that place, both games was rocking. So shout out to them. And man, and hat tip to them because they waited a long time for this. So I think, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be definitely interesting. Let's see. I want to talk a little bit about Tua. He did a presser today and talked about his return and what he's trying to do to get ready for this season, after hitting his head and whatnot. But let me see what's going on with the chat real quick. Let's see. The goats. Well, I mean, Jordan Poole been looking crazy. That's true. If Wiggins wasn't in game one, they probably would. Man. And that's Wiggins not even, he's what, 70%? Like that guy hadn't even played basketball in like 2.5 freaking months. And he came back to the game, like to one freaking playoff game and had to be defending them. And yeah, could you imagine? That's how bad our defense was looking prior to him. If he wasn't in that game, whew. Yeah, we're really going to need Wiggins to step it up this game. Wiggins, Looney, Kuminga. And it's like Jordan Poole too. He has no defense. Like it's crazy. At least last year he had his shooting, and he was scoring points. It's like this year we couldn't even hardly get that from him. He's like, I don't know. It's like almost like if he didn't have the name Jordan Poole and he didn't just get paid all that money, would he even be playable right now? Like, would he be getting the minutes that he's even getting? If his last name was, if he had Wiseman on the back of his jersey, would he be getting played right now? I don't know. But yeah. No, I'm not adding juice on there. I very chose all these people for a particular reason. It ain't gonna be juice. Feels like 49er football juice. No, thank you. All right. So let's talk about a little bit about Tua, and then we're gonna get out of here. Again, I appreciate y'all checking in with me. All right, so Tua did a little press conference today and talked about, his decision on returning the football. That obviously, he made the decision with his family, all that. At the end of the season, Mike McDaniel had said that Tua was going to start taking judo and it sounds weird, but to basically learn how to fall without hitting his head, to learn how to fall when he's getting thrown to the ground by somebody 5 times bigger than him without, hitting his head and being put into the situation that he was in multiple times this past season. I took judo and jiu-jitsu for 12, 13 years, maybe. So I definitely, when I heard that he was doing that, it makes sense why that he was doing that. But he talked a little bit about it today and basically said, they asked him like, well, how's that? What are you learning in judo for it to help you? And he basically said, he's learning to tuck his chin when he's going down, to get his body into the right position, and basically, for those that don't know, judo it's a lot about throwing, learning to throw your opponent, obviously then you're having to learn, you're getting thrown as you're working with somebody. So you're learning to throw them. Well, they're learning to throw you, right? So while you're doing that, you're having to learning to land so that you're not getting hurt. Learning to land so that you're protecting, all of your body that you possibly can in that situation. So he said that he was still, they asked him, like, have you gone up in your belt? And he said that he was still a white belt. So I don't think he's learning it obviously for self-defense or learning how to fight judo. He's just learning it for that specific reason on how to fall. So, I mean, we'll see this season if it works. Hopefully for his sake it does, because I mean, that's just scary. And, we talked about this on our other show and about him, and I mean, it was just a horrible situation to see, and to see him. I keep coming back to that image of like his hands, when they were just like I don't even know what that's called, like, like cramping up or whatever. Like, I don't know what that is, but it that was scary. It was a scary sight because it's like, you don't know, like, is he going to be okay? Is he going to be like that for the rest of his life at that moment? Like, right. You don't know, is he going to come out of that? So yeah, it's just scary. So he also said that to get ready for this season, he's been working on building up his strength. He said that he's working on obviously building up his legs, underneath of him, his core, and then said that he's working on building up his neck muscles. He says that and then he also said that he would watch the film of him obviously getting the injury and him getting thrown back and him hitting his head. He watched all that film with his judo teacher. So the judo teacher was able to see, how he landed, what situation he was put in, the multiple, right? Like, we know it happens like a couple times throughout the season. So he watched all that film with his judo teacher, and he was able to then, see, okay, this is how his body was, and then he was able to teach it from that. So I think that, hopefully that helps him. But yeah, he said that he was building up his core muscles, his neck muscles. So I guess that was a thing, right? Like, because he mentioned that a bunch of times, like learning to tuck his chin to keep his neck up. So I mean, maybe his neck's not strong enough to hold up his big head. I don't know. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's great. I'm, all joking aside, I hopefully whatever he's doing to get ready for the season, hopefully it works. Because like I said, that's the last thing you want to see is somebody out there doing what they love, doing what they do to take care of their family at the end of the day, right? And then it takes their life or it paralyzes them. So yeah, hopefully everything that he's doing helps and he doesn't have to go through that situation anymore. He did as well talk about CTE and if that was a concern, and he said, of course, I don't think the doctors can really, they can tell you at the end of the day whatever they want to tell you, but can they really tell? They can't even tell if you have CTE till you're dead still. So but he says that his doctor told him that he shouldn't have to worry about that because it's more, you get it when you're like constantly hitting your head, and so he like said more like linebackers, like offensive and defensive linemen, guys that are constantly going at it, that are constantly, hitting their heads, and to where he said, he hit his head, but it was, okay, on one occasion and then, weeks later on another occasion. So it's not like he was hitting his head like every day, who knows? I mean, hopefully, of course, that he doesn't, that's the scariest thing about football, and that they can't tell until you die. That's so scary. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully the doctor is right, but I don't know. Yeah. Oh, and then speaking of, no, actually, I'll wait to talk about that on tomorrow's show with TL. But yeah, 49er minded. Bashar, what's up? I'm going to get out of here. Let me get my joke. Sean. Hey, Sean. Tua needs a new body. Hey, Sin. See, I need to learn how to be checking out the comments. Normally, I can read the comments when TL or my guest is talking. Jerry, what's up? What's up? Yeah, TL. Just a quickie. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I'm getting my Miriah joke for y'all. And then we're going to get out of here. Tomorrow at 2 Pacific time, I'll be back with TL. And like I said earlier, we'll do our show, talk about, what's going on, and then we will do a mock draft. The last mock draft, the first mock draft we did it with the chat. This one where me and TL are going to pick we are going to do the draft picks, but if we don't agree on one of the picks, so say I want to draft a kicker and he wants to draft a quarterback, then we will turn to the chat to help us decide who we're going to draft. All right. So again, chat, I appreciate you all. Much love. Everybody have a great, safe rest of your days, rest of your week. I'm going to tell you my joke and I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. In a true Las Vegas fashion, I decided to go with this one. And remember, this is adult only channel. So if you're under 18 and you're watching, I mean, that's on you. All right. What's the difference between a hooker and a drug dealer? A hooker can wash her crack and resell it. Everybody have a great day. I'm out of here.